Hello and welcome to the show. Time to crack open a nice cold beer, preferably not a Bud Light, because have I got a great story for you. Now, you know how a certain sort of radical identity politics is infecting, well, just about everything? Including, as we have seen recently in the U.S., the beer people relax with of an evening or on the weekend? Well, it looks like there is starting to be some pushback. And when it happens, the media doesn't know how to react. Let's check out what's going on as we go busting the narrative. Right. Well, remember a little while back when Bud Light, an honest, if not particularly delicious brew out of the United States, signed on trans influencer Dylan Mulvaney to promote their product in the name of inclusion, which is really, of course, just another word for pissing off your customers?
Hi. Impressive carrying skills, right? I got some Bud Lights for us. So, I kept hearing about this thing called March Madness, and I thought we were all just having a hectic month, but it turns out it has something to do with sports. And I'm not sure exactly which sport, but either way, it's a cause to celebrate.
Right. Okay, well, weirdly, feminists weren't annoyed by Mulvaney's unbelievably parodic portrayal of womanhood. What? Sports? Don't ask me. I'm just a girl. But Bud Light drinkers were. As of this week, sales had dropped by more than a quarter year on year, while sales of rival brews Coors and Miller Lite have been picking up the slack. As I always say, go woke, go broke. But if you thought that was wild, take a look at this. In Indiana, in the Midwestern United States, a local councilman has decided to see how far he could push things. Oh, wait, I meant to say, share with the world his authentic identity. And the local media now has to take him seriously. Have a look.
A councilman is coming out as transgender and a woman of color. Delaware County Councilman Ryan Webb announced that he now identifies as an Indian American woman. Since that announcement, he's received some support, but a lot of backlash, many calling him childish, despicable, even calling for things like execution. In a statement Webb gave to ITMate, he says, quote, "It is unfortunate that I cannot simply be given the same space and respect to explore my identity that so many of those targeting me demand for themselves. It's possible I may change my mind down the road. The process of identity exploration is complex, and oftentimes at the end of our personal journey, we end right back where we started." Webb goes on to tell ITMate this is just his true, authentic self.
Naturally, there were protests by the bigots at the local council who did not wish to affirm the council person's identity. But she pushed back, telling them, quote, "I simply expressed my own gender identity. I'm being dead serious," he said. "This isn't a joke. I said what I said. I don't know what to tell you. You don't get to question me. You do not get to require proof from me." And then he said this: "You were part of the movement that helped establish these rules and set the bar, okay? You don't get to come later when someone else joins the club that you don't want in. You don't get to question how I identify." Now, between Council Person Webb and the Bud Light boycott, we are starting to see a real pushback against an ideology of so-called tolerance that is really about forcing everyone to bow to its demands. And that's the point. The media, which has to go along with, as Webb said so eloquently, is missing. This isn't about hating trans people, who God knows have enough challenges, but rather politicians and corporations demanding fealty to a particular agenda and telling us now how to live our lives, no matter whether it has anything to do with what they are selling. We've seen this with other causes, whether it was Gillette telling its male customers to stop being such awful men, and by the way, still buy our razors, or in the UK, Ben & Jerry's telling off the Home Secretary over migration policies of all things. Sorry, guys, stick to ice cream. But will the ideologues and their media mates listen? Dunno. Though stories like the Bud Light boycott and the tale of the Indiana councilman suggest that the pushback is happening and that the best weapons are cash and common sense. Thanks for watching. I am James Morrow, and to support this channel, please like, share, and subscribe below. And I'll see you next week for more Busting the Narrative. Cheers!